I'm attempting to watch 1,000 games of football before the end of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. I'm going to be ranking every single one to find out which game is the greatest of the season. We are turning our attention to some pre-season friendlies as Sydney FC take on Wrexham. Now, unsurprisingly, a lot of people were expecting Wrexham to just walk over Sydney, given that Wrexham are now promoted to the Championship. However, Sydney were giving a good account of themselves early, making it quite difficult for Wrexham to break them down. However, it would be Wrexham that would get the first goal. Would take the lead after a deep free kick was whipped in a dangerous area and was turned home for an own goal by midfielder Corey Holman, an unfortunate result for him, and the Red Dragons would take a 1-0 lead. Now, Corey Holman should have redeemed himself when in the 43rd minute, he struck a shot from the edge of the box, which very clearly hit the arm of a Wrexham defender. However, the referee must have had his head halfway up his arse and couldn't see the fact that the ball had clearly hit an arm. So a corner was given off of the shot. And from this, Sydney would deservedly get their equaliser as it was bundled home by Alexander Popovic to get him, well, I'd say his first goal of the season. It's still pre-season, so it doesn't really count. But he would get the equaliser for Sydney to make it 1-1. Around the 60th minute, Sydney decided to sub off their entire starting 11 and pretty much replace them with an academy side. And obviously, this gave Wrexham some chances on the break. However, a really top save from Devonish Mears in the 70th minute kept things at a level pecking, and it would only be a few minutes later when an absolute shock would ring out through the stadium. Because while on a quick break, the best of the Sydney FC MPL side combined with Joe Lacey, the attacking midfielder who just recently turned 18 years old, wrapping a beautiful effort from the top of the box, and a hand from the Wrexham keeper wasn't enough to keep it out as it bundled into the side netting, making it 2-1 to Sydney FC. And luckily for them, they would see it out. A massive result in pre-season for them and a great showing from some of Sydney FC's emerging youngsters. I've seen a lot of people saying that the Red Dragons, Wrexham really should not be losing like this, but I think people need to start giving the A-League a bit more credibility when it comes to games like this. Overall, this game wasn't bad. It was quite a fun showing, and it was nice to see 40,000 people turning up. Maybe you guys can turn up at the A-League games for once, please. Overall, I'm going to rate this game a 5.2.